Now, I feel that the death penalty should also be applied to mentally retarded people that commit capital crimes, because if you don't, it's not being fair to all the law-abiding retarded people. I used to work with the retarded, but I used to work with the retarded. They're the nicest people. They're nicer than we are, but there was always the one creep, you know? And we had this guy, Dennis, no last names. He'd grab your hair. He was like 6'4". He'd grab your hair with his jelly, sticky, stupid hands and like start pulling you, and you'd have to go like this to make him stop. I'm not even making this up. Johnny Carson's dead, Dennis. Johnny Carson's dead. Into his ear. That's the only way he'd stop. He'd start smiling. So who knows? But, you know, and there was obviously a fine line between retarded and just a dumb killer, you know? I mean, you know, what's the line? I guess if your favorite movie star is the volleyball in Castaway, you know, that might be a little slow, but I don't know. Okay, so let's move along here. What do you say, folks? Retarded, you know, what is it? Let's start with a legend in comedy, one of my favorites, one of the people who got me into this business. Greg, what,
I knew that was going to be me.
I thought it was going to be Jeff.
Yeah. That was the old switcheroo, boys.
He really switched up there.
Whoa.
That's pretty sweet.
You guys are going to deconstruct my awful joke? Good timing, guys. It's show
So
free.
what's your question? Should we kill retarded people?
Criminals who are mentally retarded or not?
Well, how
Without the stutter, I meant to ask that.
How retarded? I mean, you know what I mean? It's like, you know how easy it is
That's
to...
not a scientific,
well,
you know,
no, but that's
how retarded, you know,
yeah,
they
well,
don't say that.
No, but I mean, you know,
I heard he was
there's got to be a
retarded.
Well, there's got to be
like
a threshold,
yeah.
right? I mean, you know how easy it is to fake mild retardation? I mean, we can let everybody get away with it. You just have to watch an interview with Freddie Prinze Jr. and copy that. I mean, it's not hard to do.
You know, 2 years ago, that might not have been cruel, but the kid's on his way down, Greg. Give him a break. And he's one of your people, the Latinos. Come on.
It does depend how retarded, though. You're right, man. I mean, if you sit somebody in the electric chair and he goes, "Where are we going?" That's too retarded.
I'm torn.
Why do I feel like we're in the middle of like a special education Jeff Foxworthy bed? Sarah, would you like to save me?
Well, I think I'm torn about the whole thing. In one way, I think that we should, because, you know, how else are they going to learn? But at the same time, you kill retarded people, that's going to ruin the Special Olympics, and that's really going to kill. It's really going to kill white people, because it's the last sporting event where they really dominate. You know?
What is the handicap parking situation at the Special Olympics? Is it still just the 2 spots? Because that's another problem for another show.
Yeah. Well,
but you know, they do. You're saying it's not scientific, but they do have experts that come in and determine whether you're retarded. And there's like an exact IQ number if it's 70 or 65. So somebody's got to give you a test and then come in and tell you, hey, bad news, you're not retarded. I mean, yeah, I can't believe it either. I was convinced you would be, but it turns out you weren't.
well, why don't we move on to juveniles? When should a juvenile be charged as an adult? Is that, you know, is there
When
an
he's
age?
retarded.
Yeah.
Anybody, and I don't mean when should Juvenile, the rapper, be charged as an adult?
Well, I've heard one person...
I wish I was back on MTV for that one.
One person I was talking to said that it should, in any state, be the age of sexual consent, but that's not right, because in Mississippi, you'll be executing 11-year-olds. I knew that would get nothing, but I did it anyway.
That was a good one, except that everyone's sitting here thinking to themselves, he looks like a juvenile retarded criminal. Now let's ask this question. Do you ever look in the mirror and just think about, like, you should sue God? Does that ever happen? That's right, folks.
That really hurt.
that was brutal, wasn't it?
Yeah. Zingy.
How about It's Zingers? That's what the show's about, Jerry. Zingers, okay? It's our little attempt to make the big bucks. Do you mind? Well, it's nice to kick back, but you know, some scratching out there.
Well, you know what? It seems like everybody wants, you know, to punish the victims more, kill the retarded people, you know, charge children as adults. You're not saying, like, for example, if they say you're retarded, they're not saying, okay, we let you go now. They're just saying we can't kill you. You're still going to spend your life in jail.
I was just going to say that it seems like the death penalty, it seems like more than just a penalty. You know what I mean? Penalties, you lose a round,
Points.
deduct a few points, but it's more than.
Now, what about, speaking of penalties, what about for rapists, chemical castration? I can't even believe this is an issue. It's a definite yes from where I'm sitting. But do you think that's right, to chemically castrate?
I think you need to explain to people what
Well,
that
you
is.
take a pill. You take a little magic pill every day, like Prozac or whatever you take, and then it stops you from being impotent. I mean, it helps you be impotent. Why do you have to make me answer science questions on my own?
Because I bet you.
I failed science. I was in the same biology class for 4 years in high school.
I never heard of this chemical castration.
You never
until
heard?
I got
It's
on
all in
this
the
show.
papers.
No, they give you a pill, and it makes you feel like you just saw Norton naked.
Which in your case would give you an erection.
Jim, I didn't mean for it to go this way. I just wanted to get my shots in and let it go. But
I don't think that it actually, I don't think you should waste money on chemicals for chemical castration. Just go out and spend 20 bucks on hedge clippers.
I agree. And that comes from a Jersey former landscaper. He knows what he's talking about.
They should only chemically castrate or whatever rapists if the woman was definitely not asking for it.
That's right, man. Don't change the channel. We'll be right back with your local forecast.
In the desert, you find...
How were you punished as a child?
I was beaten.
My mom used to chase me around with a pool cue.
I got spanked with a nail, razor blade, and a buckle with hot water on the end.
I think it was just a ruler.
Extension cord.
Stick, belt, wire.
I was hit with a bowling ball.
With a hairbrush.
Wooden spoon.
A wooden spoon?
I was hit with the wooden spoon.
Not a spoon, a belt, yeah.
Did not tell you not to go around that corner.
Would I ever hit my kids? Probably, yeah.
I just think kids are fragile. I mean, you can hurt a kid by hitting them.
Would you hit your kids now?
Yeah.
These days, you spank your kid, you go to jail. But if you don't spank your kid raised up to cut your throat, kill you, your brother, your sister, and anybody because you didn't beat them when they was young.
Okay, let's get right into it. Is it all right to discipline your children by spanking and slapping them? Statistics show that kids that get hit more grow up to be more violent. So the question a parent has to ask themselves, do you want to raise spoiled creeps or obedient sociopaths? As with everything else, there's a fine line between giving your son a couple of swats on the butt and the mother who's wearing the house dress with the cold cream and holds a kid's hand over the stove. 20 years later, he's the kabuki theater rapist. You know? That was a highbrow one. Let's go. How about it? Is it all right to discipline your kids by spanking and slapping? Yes.
What?
Really?
Really?
That's all I have.
I think it's okay to hit your kid if you're both in the same weight class. I was spanked a few times, and all it did to me was like, now I like getting spanked.
Well, you know what? You don't have to spank your kid to discipline him. There's a lot of other things you can do. You can cover his head in a towel and hang him off a balcony. That works.
I was thinking if he did drop that kid, what would the next round of plastic surgery have been like?
Well, my parents used to hire, actually. The babysitter used to spank me, and it was, I didn't mind the spanking. You deserve it if you're a kid. I thought the leather mask and the ball gag were a little much. Let me ask you this. How much is the media to blame for adolescent violence?
People blame the media for everything. It's like kids don't copy everything they see in the media. You know, kids go see Keanu Reeves movies all the time. They don't go out and become crappy actors. They can tell.
Yeah, but don't you think there's a lot to do? Let's face it. You want parents, two jobs parents are supposed to keep kids from like this onslaught of billions of dollars of corporate advertising and movies and everything else. That's impossible. They go change the channel, right? Just change the channel. You turn on any other channel, A&E, it's like, you know, when good cops go bad, when good fish, you know, attacks electrical wiring. You put on like Discovery Channel, there's murders everywhere, there's girls gone wild. It's a great TV system, but you know what I'm saying.
Why do those girls go wild?
I've asked myself
Because they
that
seem
question.
like normal girls, and they go wild. Why do they just go wild?
Yeah.
I want to know, what makes them go wild?
Yeah. That is a good
tequila.
Does anyone know?
Those girls,
Sorry, Greg, what?
those girls gone wild. There's always like they always you know, sort of get all lesbian on those tapes and stuff. But I think that's like it's like a way of it's a female empowerment. You know, they kind of like make out with each other. It's kind of like, you know, we don't need you guys.
Right. It's very empowering when a 15-year-old girl flips her shirt off.
Yeah.
Gets no. She's got the DVD residuals. Maybe it'd be
She's
empowering.
doing it for her. She's doing it for her, just
She's
like
doing it for
she
all
gives
women.
jobs for her. What?
Everybody tries.
Can't you say BJ's?
B jobs.
But what about the fact that even now you get so jaded after a couple of years? I look at the girls, if they just flip their shirt up, I'm like, oh, she's a nice girl. She doesn't like show her, you know, and have the ring or whatever. Well, your standards change. That's all I'm saying. It's all moral relativity, right, Jim? What?
You can't say smell my finger. You can say ring. That's not right.
Yeah,
He's got a good point. They made him take out smell my finger. But ring is not so visceral. It's visual without being visceral.
Didn't you want to say something like that?
Greg?
Well, I want to.
I'm sorry.
Jerry, don't you have a little observation on the Girls Gone Wild thing? It's a little
I
bit...
think I did it. Can we move on to the next thing?
What? Because I got yelled at by Seinfeld? Big deal. We're going to take a short break. We're going to take a short break now, so if you want to go beat your kids, which we weren't talking about for the last 10 minutes, you got 2.5 minutes to do it. My next guest is a friend and wonderful comedian, Sarah Silverman. Hi. Sarah, I understand you're doing great in your career right now.
I am doing.
Well, that's great. You deserve it.
Right.
You're funny, and you're so cool of a person.
Oh, thank you.
We go back a long way, right? When you first got to New York, I think.
You were one of the first people I met when I came to New York.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
What were you, 22 or something?
No, I was 18 when we met.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, you did know that, actually, because I remember when we met at the Comedy Cellar, I remember I told you I was only 18, but that didn't really seem to matter to you.
Maybe you were 18, that's right.
Yeah, it definitely was.
I don't think I was on TV at that time.
No, you were on TV, because I remember when I met you, I was very excited and kind of starstruck, and I was very impressionable, and I was very vulnerable, and you took a, you took full, that behooved you.
Yeah. So what is this new HBO series you got going?
Yeah, I might be doing something on HBO, but remember when I was 18 and you were like 30, and you had like no problem making out with me and acting like, really letting me believe that like you were my boyfriend?
Well, I was. I mean, I thought I was. Well, maybe we should talk about the Middle East. That's an important issue to you. Israel, you're Jewish, and...
Keep it down.
All right, sorry. Israel, and what do you think of the Middle East situation? It's kind of a tough situation,
Yeah,
right?
it's a good thing to talk about the Middle East.
Yeah.
Because Israel is... It's a young country. We forget that. I mean, it's just like 50 years old, which, in country years is like, say, 18. And it's a vulnerable country, and it's an impressionable country. The Arabs are like, they really have a history, and they really kind of rest on that history and know that Israel is going to be impressed that they were on remote control and that they, are a big deal.
Yeah.
It's not, it's not black and white, I guess.
It's not black and white because, let's face it, you weren't going out with some pimply-faced freshman either. Let's face the facts.
Oh, I have a good idea. I know. You know how I'm doing your show right now?
We're
and then
on TV
after the show, maybe I'll go downtown to like the college campus area and I'll rape a child.
Well, that's not exactly what happened.
No, we both can. We can both do it. We'll go downtown and we'll find some kids that probably have like seen us both on TV, and we'll take advantage of, we'll put a little trance on them, and we'll take advantage of them, and we'll make out with them, and then just laugh about it.
Yeah,
Get some beers.
I didn't laugh about it. Well, you were hanging out with my friend Mike Reynolds at the time.
Yeah, he had a crush on me.
I know, he did.
Yeah, you did know that.
So,
So when were you going to tell him that you were going to make a move on me?
I told him that night. Yeah.
That night after you made out
when I
with
got
me.
home after fooling around with you, I called him. I said,
You snake! kicked Mike Reynolds.
So what? He punched a guy in the face once who was passed out, and I saw it.
No, but you you kicked a homeless guy in the face.
That's true. So what do you have coming up next? You still doing Jesus' Magic?
Yeah, I'm doing my show, Jesus Magic. I'm going to bring it to New York in the spring again, and this movie, and that's about it.
All right. So, all right, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, that is a panic. Hi. We were just talking. All right, that's why I never did character work on SNL. You happy? We were just talking about raising kids. Were you ever really given some good advice when you were a child? You know, something like don't get in a van with Jim Norton. Well, not all of us were that lucky. That's why we're going to give the panel an opportunity here to give out the advice they wish they'd been given as kids. Jerry, would you care to start?
Well, let's be honest. I've had a big hit show. I've got my own plane. I bought Billy Joel's house and just demolished it. I've got a beautiful wife, a family. Even I would not be so arrogant as to give advice to someone who's about to do so well.
Greg.
If you ever grow up and become a comedian and you're bombing in a half-filled club in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and these three enormous girls in the front start heckling you and they yell, you know, you ain't from around here, are you, boy? And you go, you didn't just say that, did you, you unoriginal, cliche, slinging half-wit? You know, because you're a little drunk, you've done a few shots, because you just had a phone conversation with your wife before you got on stage. And she's like, I'm sick of you being on the road. And you're like, well, this is what I do. I'm a comedian. What am I supposed to do? This is how I earn a living, okay? You think I want to eat my own nutsack in Murfreesboro, Tennessee every night? You know, so that's in your mind. You're on stage, you know, and then the girl in the front yells, you suck. And you go, hey, don't be mad at me because you caught your rat tail in the tilt-a-whirl this morning. You know, and then she goes, man, I'm going to kick your ass after the show. Don't assume that she won't because she's a girl.
Jim?
I have nothing that poignant, but I've learned 3 important things that I would love to pass along to a younger person. Number 1, never wear hot pants and gyrate on Santa's lap in the mall. Number 2, black coffee and Mexican food is the wrong combination to eat before a prostate exam. And number 3, always do things yourself, and if you have to hinge your career on someone, pick Jerry and not some mean Irish talk show host with skinny legs and a fat head.
That's good advice. I don't think Conan O'Brien's going to appreciate that, but it's honest advice. Sarah.
The kids at school that tease you, they're just jealous because your hairy Jew arms are cool. They're cool. And then, 2 things I had. And then the second one is, don't say chink on TV. Unless you want your career to skyrocket.
That's great. And now here's a few words of advice I give to little 7-year-old Colin. Hey, little Colin. So what, you're the shortest kid in the class. You don't have to make everybody laugh. Instead of trying to tap dance for the whole world, running desperately on a hamster wheel, slow down and accept yourself as yourself. If you don't know that, you'll go through years of depression, substance abuse, and an endless stream of soul-murdering relationships where the other person was too normal to realize they're living with a hollow mechanical cyborg. And even when you gain some semblance of materialist success, you'll never come close to filling up the void. Well, there you have it, folks. We'd like to wish you a good night. Take care. Have a good one.